Austen Lane, ESPN 690, doing my 3 takeaways from this game, and not a good one. Close ball game, but overall, I think if you're a Jaguars fan, you walk away from that game with a bad feeling in your stomach. Let's start out with the positive I took away, and keep in mind this is directly after the game, so I'm probably gonna miss some stuff because there's a lot of bad that sticks out to me more than good. We'll talk about that all on the show on Monday, but this is just my 3 takeaways, and the first takeaway that comes out to me in terms of a positive is what the offense was able to do, okay? Granted, they turned the ball over 3 times, and you can't lose their turnover battle. Right now, the blame, on the one fumble, the fullback, is that on Minshew? Is that on the fullback? That's something that's really hard to call right now. Wasn't a good look regardless. Obviously, Minshew gets blindsided on a play, fumbles the ball. Panthers take it for a touchdown. Big momentum swing right there. So those are kind of the drawbacks. But overall, the Jaguars put up over 500 yards of offense. And I thought Minshew looked pretty good. I think the one guy that really stood out to me was obviously DJ Chark, who is becoming a problem forever, whoever covers him. The guy's been unconscious now, it seems like the past couple weeks. He has over, 150 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns, and does not show any signs of stopping whatsoever. Love the way DJ Chark played. The guy just dominated, and he continues to dominate. So props to him. Leonard Fournette, going over 100 yards again in the second straight game. Pretty good look for him as well. I thought he ran pretty hard today. Anytime you have a chance to go over 100 yards rushing, you have a chance to win. And when you couple that with over 500 yards of total offense, over a pretty good Carolina Panthers team, and you score 27 points, you got a chance to win. In most leagues, you're going to win that game. And this was a Panthers team that we talked about all week where we thought they were vulnerable in the run game and pretty dominant in the passing game. Well, props to John DeFilippo once again, where Carolina goes down, they score. Jaguars get the ball back, the first possession, and you want to think, all right, they're going to hand the ball off to Fournette right away, 2-3 times, pound the rock, hopefully they get a first down and go from there. But that wasn't the case at all. That was not in the script. We saw a lot of QB rollouts in that first drive. We saw a lot of passing, and it paid off dividends. The Jaguars ended up taking down the field and scoring. So love the game plan there in terms of the Jaguars weren't frightened by that Carolina secondary. They weren't frightened off the get-go of that Carolina Panthers pass rush, who at the time going into this game was they're tied for first in sacks. So props to the Jaguars, if we're going off the pass game a little bit and kind of switching up the script. Not what I foresee happening at all, but it paid off pretty well for them. But like I said, when you score 27 points and put over 500 yards of offense, and you have a defense that, me personally, I'll own up to it. I've said, was going to be dominant this year. You think you're going to win the ball game, and that wasn't the case. And that leads me to takeaway number 2, the defense as a whole. Carolina had 285 yards rushing. Christian McCaffrey had 170 yards himself on 19 carries. That's about like a 9.12 or something like that average per rush with 2 touchdowns. And he had 6 receptions for like 60-something yards in the pass game, and also a touchdown. Going into this game, you knew what Carolina was trying to do. They have Christian McCaffrey. All due respect to Curtis Samuel, all due respect to DJ Moore, they seem like okay receivers. But if I'm Jacksonville, I'm keying in on one guy and one guy only, and that's Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, maybe Greg Olsen can get a couple 10-yard outs here or there, but Christian McCaffrey is the game record. You have to stop Christian McCaffrey. And that should have been the focus the entire week. And for whatever reason, Christian McCaffrey absolutely went hog wild on the Jaguars. And towards that third quarter, going in the fourth, it almost seemed like it was the Christian McCaffrey highlight film. And like at the end, Carolina was getting so cute, running like a Christian McCaffrey. It was like 3rd and 1 in the red zone, and they're like trying to run a pass where McCaffrey's trying to throw the pass and everything. That just shows to me that Carolina was just way too comfortable against this Jacksonville Jaguars defense, a defense that, was supposed to be touted, that I spoke very highly of. And where does that fall on? Does that fall on the defensive line, the linebackers, the play calling? It falls on everything, and we're going to break this down sometime next week, and I'm going to discuss eye discipline a little bit, because what Carolina did the whole time in the backfield is they used Greg Olsen a lot kind of as a decoy. They used a lot of wide receivers as a decoy, and that got the linebackers' attention. That got some of the defensive line's attention. And when you look in the backfield like that and you get thrown off your keys, that's where the holes open up. It doesn't matter how great of a defense you have. It doesn't matter how great of a game script you have. If you take the cheese, if you don't play your responsibilities and play your gaps, it doesn't matter. And it's as simple as that. So we're going to break that down a lot because it's hard to explain just on the video alone. The one play that really stands out to me was the Christian McCaffrey 80-yard something run, and if you go back to that video, you see Myles Jack follow the tight end because he was trying to have contained. He was trying to follow the tight end because the block was going out there. Well, if you look closely on that play, you're going to see Calais Campbell. In that play, you want to cross-face the guy who you're on. So instead of cross-facing the guy, Campbell looks in the backfield a little bit, takes the cheese with the tight end going in motion, and actually loses his gap a little bit. If Calais Campbell stays home, maybe that doesn't go for 84 yards. Now, if Myles Jack rebounds a little better, maybe that doesn't go for 84 yards. There's a lot of blame to go around. It's not just on one guy. And once again, we're going to break that down for sure, probably on Tuesday or Wednesday, but for sure, keep your eyes posted on that. And then the third thing, it has to be the coaching, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And I'm a guy who, last week kind of defended Todd Wash a little bit. I said he put his players in position to make the plays, they just got to make them. Now, you can say that this week too as well. But one play for sure really sticks out to me, and that was when Carolina was in the red zone and Christian McCaffrey caught his touchdown reception with just Myles Jack on. And if you were to ask me, Austin, if you're going to cover Christian McCaffrey, who are you going to put him on? Are you going to put a corner on him, a linebacker on him, an outside linebacker on him, a safety? Who do you put on Christian McCaffrey? And if you analyze this Carolina Panthers defense, the answer's simple. You don't put one person on him. You put two people on him. You double team him. You use zone coverages on him. The last thing you want to see, and I get it, Myles Jack's an athletic dude. He played running back in college. Nothing against Myles Jack. He just got paid. He's the top 3 paid linebacker. I'm sorry, he's the top 3 inside paid linebackers right now in the NFL. Props to him. But I feel like nobody can cover Christian McCaffrey one-on-one. Absolutely nobody. And the fact that whatever the formation was, whatever the play call was on defense, the fact that I saw Myles Jack one-on-one on Christian McCaffrey, not a good play call. And there's only so much Myles Jack can do. There's only so much anybody can do on Christian McCaffrey. So if that means that you have to run more zone and focus on McCaffrey, then so be it. I would much rather have, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel have the games of their lives. I'd much rather have, a 60-year-old Greg Olsen have the game of his life to beat my defense. The last thing I want to do is let the star player, the guy that everyone's talking about in fantasy, beat me. And on that play and on many other plays, you saw Christian McCaffrey beat you. So I feel like, as far as the game plan was concerned, yeah, sure, the players got to make plays. But you also got to set them up where you got to tell yourself, no matter what it takes, we're not letting Christian McCaffrey beat us. And Christian McCaffrey almost single-handedly beat the Jacksonville Jaguars today. And that's what hurts, And whether that falls on coaching, on players making the plays, a combination of both. Take it what you want. Go ahead and watch the film again. I'm gonna, and I'll have an answer for you on Monday. But not a good look. Not a good look whatsoever. And then 9 penalties, 84 yards. I always say you want to keep it under 10. They kept it under 10, but there were some costly penalties again. And I get those are going to happen in the game regardless. But these aren't aggressive penalties, right? These aren't like roughing the quarterback types of penalties. These aren't, maybe you're offsides because you thought you had the stat count down, you didn't, and you get caught offsides. Like, these aren't aggressive penalties. They're not pass interference penalties. These are penalties with holding. These are penalties with how you tackle, do you grab the face mask, things of that nature. And those have to be addressed in practice. Those have to be cleaned up. And I feel like I'm talking about it every single week that I'm doing my 3 takeaways here. And here we are again. So got to clean those things up in practice. And listen, not sure if you guys watched the Saints game today, but the Saints look pretty damn good. Even with Teddy Bridgewater, a backup quarterback, leading that offense right now. And you got a guy named Alvin Kamara who's a lot like Christian McCaffrey. And you have a wide receiving core in New Orleans that is better than what you just faced in Carolina. You have a guy by the name of Michael Thomas who you better hope Jalen Ramsey plays, because if not, that guy can feast all day. So it's got to be a quick turnaround. You got to address these mistakes. You have to be ready for Kamara, because if I'm Alvin Kamara and I watched what Christian McCaffrey did today, I'm foaming at the mouth. I can't wait to play in Jacksonville and go against this defense right now. So a lot of things to clean up. Not a good look at all for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not a good look, especially for their defense. That's all I got to say right now.